Hi, I'm Stuart Baker, and welcome to another episode of the Chamber Talk for Nevada City. Today I have with me Heather Heckler, who is the program manager for the Grass Valley, Nevada City Cultural District at the Nevada County Arts Council.
You got it.
Yes, I know. It's a mouthful.
It is.
Tell us first, maybe real briefly, your 30-second elevator speech about what the Arts Council is for those that don't know.
Yeah, thank you. So great to be here. Thanks for having me. The Arts Council really is an umbrella organization for the arts in the community. So we know we have an amazing arts community. Our role is really to support and promote arts in Nevada County. We do amazing things like the Business of Art Symposium, a full-day symposium of career development for artists. We provide fiscal sponsorship for arts organizations or folks who want to bring in grant funding. We do a lot of advice and support for artists. We promote the arts all over the place.
Great.
So generally we see ourselves as great supporters of artists.
Awesome. No, that's great. So now you specifically are involved in this thing called a cultural district for both our towns. So tell us a little bit. I see those flags that go up every April, and maybe there's a flyer or something around, but I don't really know much more about it. So Why should the reader or the listener or the watcher care about the cultural district concept?
Yeah, so the cultural district concept is really something that came from the state of California. So it's actually through a piece of legislation, and the cultural districts were first designated in 2017 by the state of California through the California Arts Council. And really, there are only 14 designated cultural districts throughout the entire state. So when you're thinking about a state that part of its brand is arts and culture, right? It's pretty amazing that we actually have not one, but two designated cultural districts in Nevada County. So GVNC Cultural District, which is what I work on, I'm the program manager for, and then the Truckee Cultural District.
Nice.
And what it really means is that the state recognizes that we have an incredible concentration of the arts here in Nevada County. We all know that we live in an amazing, special place, right? We have festivals and amazing performing arts centers and incredible artists and beautiful downtowns and amazing independent stores and shops, but that's rare in the state and in the country, honestly. And to have such a beautiful concentration of arts and culture is special. And so the cultural district is really partly just sort of an acknowledgement of that and an opportunity for us to promote our community and promote our arts organizations and our artists to the wider state and nation.
Because I know there was recently a lecture by some bigwig from Washington that said that arts brings in a lot of money to the economy, which, maybe you can give me some. I think it was like $72 for every ticket for an out-of-towner, and maybe there was another statistic. I don't know if you remember it.
So we just completed an arts and economic prosperity study, and that's in partnership with Americans for the Arts. And so we actually surveyed 127 local arts organizations and over 1,000 attendees to arts events. And basically the questions were all around economic development and prosperity. So if we know we live in an amazing cultural area, right? But what does that mean for the economy of this place? Well, what it actually means is that arts and culture in Nevada County is a $66 million industry. Whenever you spend, whenever you spend money on a ticket, you're also doing things like spending money on a babysitter, spending money on parking, maybe going out to dinner, going out for a cocktail. So on top of that ticket price, you're also doing all of these other things in town that help support our local businesses, restaurants, et cetera. When folks come in from out of town, they spend even more money. So if a local goes out and goes to a show, say they spend about $42 additional.
All right.
From an out-of-towner, it's about $74. So it really shows that impact that the arts have, bringing folks from out of town to spend their money here. And of course, that's not what it's all about, but when you're trying to, support an amazing local economy, it's really important.
Right. So I know that the Cultural District has been around 2017, 2016?
2017 is the
Okay.
first time it was designated.
And then it was kind of an unfunded thing. They had
Yes.
enough money to do a workshop and
Yep.
buy those flags.
Yep.
But then after that, it was kind of like, okay, well, we'll just keep it going. And then after the pandemic was done, finally you've received some substantial money from the state to actually do something with it.
Yes.
And part of it was hiring you,
Yes,
which is great.
exactly.
And so what are your plans, though? How will folks out there see in the coming years the cultural district, and how will it kind of impact them, you know, if your plan goes as expected?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yes, so now there's actually a position and energy and funding to put into this
Right.
thing. When it was first designated, there was $5,000 of funding,
Right.
which is, you know, not much.
Right.
We got a logo, we got some flags, we had a big party.
Right. That's great.
and talk to community members kind of to talk about what do we want this to be.
Right.
Now we have the money to actually do something. So a couple things. For me, it's going and doing things like this, talking about the cultural district, making sure that our community is aware of the designation, right? So when I first started, I would tell friends and family, oh, I'm the new program manager for the GVNC Cultural District. And they'd say, what the heck is that?
Yeah, right.
And so part of my job now is just to make sure everybody here knows that we have a cultural district and why we have a cultural district. But then we have all this exciting work to do in the next year. So we are looking for a consultant who will help us do what we call an arts and culture master plan. So really what that is, it's a fancy way of saying we want to bring the community together, everyone in the community from all the
Right.
different sectors, whether we're talking about government or business or social services, healthcare, everybody. We want everyone to basically come together and talk about what do we want this to look like in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. This is our opportunity to build this arts and culture community into the future, to understand what it is we want from it, and to put plans in place, actionable plans in place that we can all take action on to build that thing. It's really exciting. So I'm very excited about that. That's probably a 6 to 12 month process that we're looking at. You'll be hearing more about it.
No, that's
I'm going to be
great.
bugging everybody to get
Right.
involved. And then from there, a lot of marketing. So,
Yeah, no, that's great, because
Yeah.
I feel like this is where people are going to get really interested, because we want more folks to come and visit and to share the beauty that we have here as a community and all the assets.
Exactly.
And the only way it happens is through marketing. So
Yep.
could you speak to some specific kind of marketing ideas that you'd like to see at least? Or-
Yeah. Well, I have big plans.
Okay, well, let's hear
Whether
it.
or not the money is all there for
Right.
it. I mean, one of the things is, like we're doing today, we have so many great local media partners, Nevada County Media, the Union, UBNet, KVMR, KNCO, really putting our funds and our energy into those local media partners, because media is so important to this. We
Right.
need local news to
Right.
understand how we all, live together, really.
Right.
And then also recognizing that we can do a better job of promoting this area regionally. So I'm looking at, potential purchases for radio or TV or
A billboard? I
I
heard
don't
about
know.
a billboard last time I talked to you.
I'm going to cost out those billboards. I want
Right.
to bring people from Sacramento, Roseville, Reno into the cultural district to spend their money here, but also to see what we have and to enrich their lives as well.
Right. So then on the cultural district, sometimes people think, oh, it's just visual arts, but maybe you can
No.
talk about all of the elements that feed into a cultural district that
Yeah.
give people a robust sense of what it's all about.
Yeah, well, I like to break it down by saying, what is culture, right? So
Right.
we as humans create our culture. And I think that's something we take for granted, that we're in charge of this thing. What is it that we wear? That's part of our culture. What is it that we eat? That's part of our culture. What do we do with ourselves? What's our job? What do we do for fun? That's all part of who we are as a cultural community. So here, when we talk about the cultural district, we're not just talking about visual arts. Of course, we have amazing visual artists here.
Right.
But we also have amazing theater artists here. We have some incredible performance spaces who bring world-class musicians.
Right.
We have an awesome food culture. You know, we have incredible restaurants. Our businesses, some of our small businesses are like some of the most creative people we have, and they sell local arts. It's really about everything we are and we do. That's culture, and that's what a cultural district is all about. Vineyards.
Right. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, we have
great.
so many different things that play into it.
Right. So, and then what besides marketing, other future ideas or plans that you're kind of nurturing in your head as what seems possible and realistic?
Yeah, well, I mean, as one of our partners with the Chamber of Commerce, it's going to be a conversation with you and with the Grass Valley Chamber of Commerce and with our two cities, Grass Valley and Nevada City, to really understand what's needed and what's going to be the most effective. I would love to see us think about some kind of a festival or something in April for Arts, Culture, and Creativity Month.
That's a good month because it's still a little bit slow.
Right,
and I know
it's a little
lot
bit
of our
shoulder
members
season.
are still struggling from the months after Victorian Christmas.
Exactly, and it's also incredibly beautiful here.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a reason to come and there's a reason to stay. So thinking about things like that, I don't know. What about a podcast?
Yeah, right. Okay.
What about some radio shows on KVMRX? I think there's a lot of different ways we can use kind of all five senses to show people what exists here. I'm thinking about walking tours and experiences, but I want to hear from folks in town too. What do they want to see?
And then we have this, we were fortunate to get a public arts ordinance passed in Nevada City, and we're looking for some real interesting things to happen, especially in the Seven Hills District.
Yes.
Where do you see both the Arts Council and the Cultural District kind of, where does that look for the public arts ordinance, and how will you help get some public art happening?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So the Public Art Commission has met twice, Nevada City Public Art Commission, and I think they're really starting to understand their role, and just as I am. So we're all getting used to the idea of what does public art even mean in Nevada City. It's a little bit different for downtown because it's a historic district. You can't do permanent art there, but they've allowed through this ordinance, sort of temporary public art. So 90 days, what can we do in 90 days? And I'm thinking about things like projection and, or festivals or, things like that. But in Seven Hills, we have a really interesting opportunity because it's not in the historic district.
Right.
So really, Nevada City, we're filled with weirdos, and which is one of the things. In a
wonderful way.
Which is one of the things I love. When I say weirdo, that's a compliment.
Yeah, right.
And it would be great to see Seven Hills be that place where you can celebrate that. Because it's not in the historic district, you have some opportunities to do some permanent public art that's more of a blank canvas.
Yeah, nice.
And there are businesses starting to go in there that feel like they're aligned with that kind of artsy vibe. I don't know what that looks like exactly, but that's part of my job, is to talk with those businesses, to talk with folks who live in that area and understand what is it that they want to see there in their community.
Right.
And then I'll put my energy into that.
No, that's wonderful, because I really feel personally, and I know the chamber board feels as well, it's like, let's put some creative energy into that area, that part of town, because it's nestled in such a beautiful way. It has a nice further range of view and the trees and everything and the kind of nice slope. It just to add some art there would just be fantastic.
Exactly. We have like a really incredible, unique art house theater right there,
yes,
right? That's
absolutely.
sort of an anchor
Which will get
ways.
A beautiful mural very soon.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, I feel like this is one of those things where we get to envision what do we want our community to be, and we need to think big.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, Heather, are there any other things that you'd like to mention for our viewers?
I think just that you're going to be hearing from Nevada County Arts Council, and then we're going to be asking you to get involved and engaged in this cultural planning process. And please come out. Please share your ideas. More to come on that in the next probably 6 months. But that's really what we're looking at, and that's all about planning our future. So get involved.
Great, excellent. And if you have specific ideas, you can always email the Chamber or the Arts Council around some beautiful art that we can add to our gorgeous environment that we live in. So if there's nothing else, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.